Welcome to this episode in our Leadership and AI livestream series. This episode is titled The 6 Decisions That Determine Your AI ROI. I've reviewed many dozens of AI implementations over the last 18 months. The ones that produce real ROI in the first year all have 6 things in common. The ones that produce frustration and sunk cost are missing at least 3 of them. I'm not talking about which tools they used. I'm not talking about how much money they spent. I'm talking about 6 specific decisions that get made consciously or unconsciously in every single AI deployment. And the quality of those decisions determines everything. I'm Brett Thomas. I help small and mid-sized founders and business leaders implement AI quickly, confidently, and strategically. I've spent my career helping founders adapt to change and scale their success, and I've documented that experience across 20 books on management, leadership, and AI. For the past several years, I've been in the trenches helping businesses actually implement AI. I've seen what works and what doesn't, and I have a very clear picture of why. What I'm about to share with you is the framework I developed in my book, ROI and AI, the 6 AI levers. There are 6 decision points that determine whether your AI investment compounds into real advantage or disappears into overhead. Here's the conventional assumption about AI ROI. Some companies get it and some don't. Some industries are better positioned. Some founders are more technical. ROI is partly a function of luck, being in the right place at the right time with the right team. That assumption is wrong. And it leads founders to treat their AI results as something that happened to them rather than something they engineered. ROI from AI is not random. It's not about budget size. It's not about technical sophistication. It's about decision quality at 6 specific points in the deployment sequence. Most founders are making at least 3 of these 6 decisions unconsciously, meaning they're not really making them at all. They're just defaulting into them. And when you make consequential decisions unconsciously, you get random outcomes from a process that could be engineered to produce predictable and compounding results. This is the difference between founders who are building AI infrastructure that compounds quarter over quarter and founders who are re-explaining to their board why the AI investment hasn't produced what they promised. The 6 AI levers. Here they are in the order they should be addressed. Lever 1, communication and content. This is the most accessible lever and the most commonly misused one. AI can transform how your organization creates and distributes information, internal documentation, client communications, marketing content, meeting outputs. The companies getting real ROI from this lever are not just using AI to write faster. They have built standard libraries, prompt libraries, quality checklist, output standards that make AI-assisted communication consistent and scalable across the entire organization. The decision here is whether you are using AI for one-off productivity or building a repeatable content infrastructure. Those are not the same thing. Lever 2, customer interaction. AI can now handle first contact, customer engagement, lead qualification, support queries, and onboarding workflows at a quality level that most small and mid-sized businesses could not afford to staff manually. The companies winning with this lever have made a deliberate decision about where AI engagement ends and human relationship begins. They've drawn that line consciously, trained their AI systems to hand off at the right moment, and measured the impact on conversion and satisfaction. The companies losing with this lever deployed a chatbot, called it done, and wondered why customer satisfaction dropped. Lever 3, process automation. I covered this in detail in an earlier episode in this series. Process automation is about mapping the process, finding the failure points, and building the human checkpoint in. But in the context of the 6 levers, the decision here is really about prioritization. Which processes do you automate first? The answer is not the ones that are most exciting or most visible. It's the ones that are most repetitive, most measurable, and lowest risk if the automation produces an imperfect output at first. Start there. Build your competency, and then move to higher stakes processes with the confidence that comes from having done it successfully before. Lever 4, data analysis and decision support. This is where the gap between founders who think strategically about AI and founders who use it tactically becomes most visible. AI can now synthesize operational data, surface patterns, generate forecasts, present dashboards that would have required a full team of analysts 5 years ago. The decision here is whether you're using that capability to make better decisions or just to produce more reports. Better reports that nobody acts on are not ROI. Decisions that change outcomes are ROI. Lever 5, creative development. Marketing content, product development, offer design, campaign testing. For founder-led companies, this lever can compress timelines that used to take weeks into days and open up a volume of creative experimentation that was previously only available to companies with large creative departments. The decision here is whether you are using creative AI to replace your creative judgment or to amplify it. The founders getting outsized returns from this lever are the ones whose human strategic direction is sharper, not weaker, because of what AI makes possible. Lever 6, knowledge management. This is the lever most founders haven't touched yet, and it may be the highest leverage one available to a company in the 1 million to 50 million revenue range. Every founder-led company has institutional knowledge sitting in people's heads, in email threads, in documents nobody can find. AI can now organize, retrieve, and synthesize that knowledge on demand. The decision here is whether you build a knowledge infrastructure or keep operating as a business where critical information lives in the memory of your 3 most experienced people and disappears the day they leave. 6 levers, 6 decisions, every one of them made consciously by the founders building compounding AI advantage. Here's how to use this framework as a simple diagnostic you can use right now. Score yourself on each lever from 1 to 10. 1 means you've not addressed it at all. 10 means you have a functioning, measurable, systematized, deployment producing, documented ROI. Be honest. This is not a presentation for your board. This is a map where you actually are. When you have your 6 scores, add them up. If your total is below 30, you are in what I call the experimenter tier. You're using AI, but you're not yet deploying it systematically. You have individual wins, but no compounding AI infrastructure. The next move for an experimenter is not to add more tools, it's to pick 2 or 3 levers where your score is lowest and build a real system around each one before moving forward. If your total is between 30 and 50, you are in the deployer tier. You have built real capability in some areas, and you're starting to see some consistent ROI in those areas, but you still have some significant gaps, levers that are either untouched or underperforming. The next move from a deployer is deliberate gap closure. Pick your lowest scoring lever and treat it as a 90-day priority, not a side project, a primary initiative. If your total is above 50, you're in the compounder tier. Your AI systems are reinforcing each other. Capability in one lever is amplifying capability in adjacent levers. You are building structural advantage that competitors without systematized AI deployment cannot easily replicate. The move at this tier is measurement and expansion. What are you building next? And how do you measure whether it is compounding correctly? Most founders who do this self-diagnostic honestly score between 20 and 35. And that's not a failure. That is an accurate picture of where most founder-led companies are in the current AI adoption curve. The value is not in having a high score. The value is in knowing exactly which levers to pull next. If you are scoring below a 4 on any single lever, that lever is costing you money every week. Not someday, right now. Either in direct overhead, in missed revenue, in time your team is spending on work that AI could have easily been handling, or in decisions you're making without the clarity that you could have and that you probably need to make a good decision. This is not abstract. The gap between a 2 and an 8 on the data analysis lever in a company doing $5 million in revenue is measurable in dollars per quarter. The gap between a 1 and a 7 on knowledge management is measurable in hours per week across your entire team. The 6 levers give you a map. What you do with the map is the leadership decision. If you want to go deeper on this, if you want the full book, the course that walks you through each lever in detail, and my 4 AI agents built specifically to help you deploy these systems inside your business, all of that is at the ROIandAI.com hub, ROI and AI implementation hub. Link is also in the description. I'm Brett Thomas with Integral Corporation, Integral Labs, and Integral Digital. Good luck staying on the right side of the AI disruption curve. I'll see you in the next video.